Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another exciting Minecraft episode. Today I got another snowy one going on in Vermont here. No big surprise there. It is absolutely beautiful. Really coming down too. Anyway, my name is Kimberly Quinn, and I am your hostess with the mostest. Hopefully, conveying the message that becoming the boss of your brain is key to living your best life. So today, what I'd like to talk about is becoming a money magnet. And my inspiration for today's show comes from Rhonda Byrne, author of The Magic. She's also the author of The Secret, for those of you who may have read that and kind of know about the law of attraction. So, anyway, Rhonda starts out with a quote from a Lutheran pastor named Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who says, "It is only with gratitude that life becomes rich." And it's amazing that this sort of spoke to me because I never, literally never, so not a word I use very often, surprises me when I go to do an episode, and sometimes I'm doing like a little mini series, and I've got somewhat of a plan for that. And other times, I just kind of start reading and watching things and talking with people, and sometimes things just surface. In fact, I would say that happens lots of the time, and it's just the universe just speaking to me, right? And I would tell you that this one is a perfect fit because I had the honor and privilege of spending the weekend with some masterminds, literally, at a conference. And I mean, they are all about what we're talking about today, which Rhonda starts out by saying, gratitude is riches and complaint is poverty. These genius minds I hung out with all weekend are all about this. You're very gratitude focused, very much, verbalizing it constantly. And they would 100% agree that gratitude is riches and complaint is poverty. And Rhonda says that this golden rule is the rule for your whole life, whether it's your health, job, relationships, or money. The more grateful you can be for the money you have, even if you don't have very much, the more riches you will receive. And the more you complain about money, the poorer you will become. I can right away think about two other people, and there's way more than these two. Actually, three, so throw Wayne Dyer in there. The more you complain about money, the less you're going to have. It's just how it works. Abraham Hicks talks about this because we're talking about scarcity mindset. And when we are residing in a place of lack, we actually attract more lack. It can it can show up in all different ways. Just another bill you didn't expect, a blown tire. It's just you thought you paid for this, and you looked in your bill drawer, and lo and behold, you thought you did, but you didn't. It'll just show up in a way that's just more lack because it's just how the universe works. Another one who says this is my dear friend Oprah. She talks about even if you have $10 in your account, and obviously she's very wealthy now, but she wasn't always that way. She's very honest about her whole journey through in her profession. And if you've got $10, at least it's positive, right? You're in the black instead of the red, having negative $10. So being thankful for that. And also another thing, when I was reading this, what Rhonda says, Abraham Hicks, I already said her, but she does something similar to what Rhonda does, which we're going to get into in a second. But Abraham Hicks does this whole thing where she kind of thanks her bills. Like, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this bill because this means that whoever loaned me the money for the car or the house or the electricity, which is a service, but versus a material thing, but it's still an exchange of life minutes, right? Thank you for trusting me that I'm going to pay you. And it's interesting what Rhonda does, which we're going to get to shortly. She does something super similar. Wayne Dyer also talks about this. If we stay, in this place of scarcity, mindset, which is I don't have enough, then we're going to attract more of not having enough. If that sounds correct, which is it, which it absolutely is. And scarcity mindset. Forgetting the authors of that book. I own a book called Scarcity. And anyway, you can look it up. I don't know the authors. It's white with with like a red title, and it's so spot on. So anyway, money isn't the only way to be scarce. We can have a scarcity of love, a scarcity of self-esteem, a scarcity of confidence, scarcity of time, scarcity of appreciation. There can be all different scarcities. It's all coming from a place of deprivation. Money is the one most people think of right away, but there are other types of scarcity besides money. So Rhonda says that most people wouldn't think they complain about money, but if there's a lack of money in their life, they're complaining without realizing it. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm no complainer. And I've caught myself in that sometimes when you're just like running through your head, the paychecks are coming in like in a week and what am I going to do with it? You're just driving. And it's easy to fall into this trap. It's very easy to fall because you don't feel like you're complaining. You think like you're just planning. But if you're planning, with negative emotion because my check's already gone, I didn't even get it yet, you're sort of subtly complaining. It's kind of like, a blatant lie versus being evasive. It's all still deceptive. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, you're still complaining, it's just not overtly complaining. So she says complaining happens through people's thoughts as well as their words. And most people aren't aware of the many thoughts in their head. Any complaining, negative, jealous, or worried thoughts, or see that, or worried thoughts. That's what we're talking about right there. Or words about money are literally creating poverty. People don't get this. I'm like so aware of this. I am so aware of this. And I got briefly like walked into that not that long ago. I was riding the Jeep. I'm planning things out, and I'm like, WTF, man. Like, where's all this going? And then she says, and of course, the biggest complaints come when money has to be paid out. And the reason is because money is an exchange of our life minutes, our precious, most valuable life minutes. So it can be frustrating when we are spending our life minutes. We could be doing lots of other things to cut hair or fix cars or perform surgery or do whatever, teach yoga, to have to then shell out, as much as we're making or more sometimes, right? It can be very frustrating. And also, please realize I've been there. I was there definitely, my 20s. I wasn't at this place yet. And for a lot of years, I really, when I thought of it and looked back, I blamed myself. There's a ton of shame involved with my whole relationship with money. Just way too much to get into in this episode. It's in one of my TED Talks, though, actually. Just, oh, it took me so long to get, quite a while, so long to work myself out of that because it was just so much was in my hard drive. And eventually I did. Now it's been quite a while. Though, wow, it can really, especially with the messages we get, from the world about money management and misspending and things like that. And if you're neurodivergent, you have a hard time with it anyway. And people might give you a pass when you're 15, but not so much when you're, an adult with kids. And it doesn't go down a road that's very good. And I just wasn't seeing it. I wasn't ready yet to see it. The light bulb just didn't go on until, I don't know, about probably 20 years ago for me. It just was a slow thing so anyway, we all healed up now. But Rhonda says, if you don't have enough money, paying your bills can be one of the most difficult things to do. It can't, it can seem like there's a greater stream of bills than there's money to pay for them. But if you complain about your bills, then what you're really doing is complaining about money, and complaining keeps you in poverty. If you hear one thing from this episode, this podcast today, it's that lack attracts more lack. And if you complain about money, you're keeping yourself in poverty. And here is why. Every single thought that crosses our mind expands, whether it's a good one or a bad one, it expands. When we allow it to hang around, as you've heard other episodes, for longer than 17 seconds, it's like pushing a really heavy, wet snowball uphill. You can still do it, but it's awfully hard. So it's really important to nip this stuff in the bud because the thoughts expand, the universe hears every single thing we think. And so if we're thinking, thank you that I have $10 in the bank and I'm not in the negs. All right. Or I'm in the negs, so thank you. I'm less in the negs than I was yesterday. Because the universe responds to gratitude. Oh, wow. She's so grateful for her $10. I'm going to give her more abundance, more maybe what my husband calls miracle checks, which is we've talked about that since we were newlyweds. We were both working. It's still pretty broke even when we were both working. And then every once in a while you get like, from the insurance company, everybody did well. Or they just like $35 or something. You just got like a free or you overpaid something, or the class action suit from something you bought 10 years ago, and here's $5 for that. Thank you for the $5. Thank you. Wayne Dyer, When he finds a quarter on the ground, picks it up. He said he didn't used to do it, but he did at that time. Thank you. This is extra money. It's a sign that more abundance is on its way. And he had a huge jar in his house that probably had hundreds and hundreds of dollars in it with dirty coins that were extra, you know. Thank you for this extra money. Thank you for the additional income. Of course, the flip side of that is when we're whining and complaining about money, we're not, and I'm not saying it's not real, it's stressful. I mean, I think not everybody for sure, but most people have been there at some point. I certainly know what it's like to be down to nothing. I mean, down to like a dollar. I mean, I think most of us have some idea what that's like. And the thing is, if we're not grateful for even the $10 in our account, or somebody who just bought us a lunch and just treated us, and maybe they didn't even know we didn't, weren't in a good place, but they just treated us. So therefore, the 20 bucks we were going to spend on lunch, now we don't have to, right? So that's additional income. Say thank you for that. Even though we're grateful for the friend, obviously first, but money wise, you just had to not spend money. So that therefore, that's extra money in your pocket. Say thank you in your head. Just say thank you for that, because the opposite is the universe noticing, well, she's not even grateful for, I just helped her line up that new car. So, and she doesn't even seem too grateful for that. So why should I give her anything else? I just sent her a miracle check. She's like, "Oh, well, that was nice. The insurance company just sent me 35 bucks, but I pay them every month. So it's about time." Having a whole different attitude towards it. Why should I send her anything else? And it's kind of like the analogy I've used in the past when somebody walks in with a birthday gift or a gift for no reason, which is even better, and it's all wrapped up in nice paper with a big bow, and you open the door and he says, "Oh, I got you this. I was thinking of you. I was down in whatever island, and I know how much you love sea turtles, so I got you something really cool. I can't wait to see your face when you open it." And you say, "Oh yeah, thanks. Can you just set it on the coffee table for now? I'm kind of hungry. Can we go to lunch?" I mean, think about that. Who's going to get you a present again? No one, because you were a total ingrate for the nicely wrapped, beautiful, maybe sea turtle, carved out of coral or something. Like, who knows? And that universe is the same way. When you're grateful for the smallest little thing, more comes to you. When you leave, you just don't acknowledge things. It's like an unwrapped gift, it's not it's not good, because the universe is, well, if you can't even appreciate this I went out of my way for, you're not going to appreciate anything else. And that's just the basic law of the universe. So Rhonda goes on to talk about how it's a tough sell, basically, right? To when you don't have enough money and you're really feeling the pinch of that, and to ask you to be grateful for your bills, that's a hard thing. But really, we want to switch, to really, turning the mindset around with that, because it does matter. She says to be grateful for a bill, think about how much you've benefited from the service or goods on the bill. If it's payment for rent or a mortgage, be grateful that you have a home and you're living in it. You know, what if the only way you could live in a home was by saving up all the money and paying cash for it? I mean, we have a mortgage right now and I love our house. And I'm grateful for it every single day. It needs tons of work. And not that doesn't get frustrating, but I'm grateful for it every single day. What if there was no such thing as lending institutions or places to rent? Most of us would be living on the streets. So be grateful to lending institutions or your landlord, because they've made it possible for you to live in a home or apartment. So the next little bit is similar to what Abraham Hicks said too, right? So she said if you're paying for a bill for get like a service, right? Gas, electricity, for us it's propane. Think about the heating or cooling you received, the hot showers, and every appliance you were able to use because of this service. If you're paying for, the internet or phone, she says, imagine how difficult your life would be if you had to travel vast distances to talk to each person individually. I mean, I'm chuckling, but that would be the alternative, right? I mean, riding on horseback, I'm thinking a Little House on the Prairie, riding on horseback from one house to the other just to have a conversation. If you look at it that way, it's a super convenience. Think about how many times you've been able to call family and friends, send and receive emails, or access information instantly through the internet because of your service provider. All of these remarkable services are at your fingertips, so be grateful for them and be grateful that the companies trust you by providing their services before you have paid for them. So that was that Abraham Hicks thing. I've been doing that. I've been, for a while now. Thank you for this. Thank you for, when I catch myself, because I admitted to you very humbly, I did catch myself. I was riding in the Jeep and I'm like, ah, blah, 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 because we had this big, huge car bill and that because the thing happened. And then I said, oh, wait, well, easy. All right, easy. Thank you that, we have the car to pay the bill for. Thank you that, let's say, the propane bill is another one. Thank you, because I was irritated about those prices going up briefly. I reeled myself in. Thank you, that's true, that they trust us to pay it. They bring it ahead, they fill the tank, they send the bill, and then we pay it. So yeah, and I've really kind of gotten, or so let's just not say past tense, I am getting into a much better habit with that, for sure. And so the main theme here is that lack attracts more lack. Scarcity mindset is no place we want to reside. It goes no place good. Scarcity is about more than money. It can be relationships. It can be love. It can be self-esteem. It can be time. It can be appreciation. It can be certainly a scarcity of self-value. All these other things. But residing there goes nowhere good, because the universe responds to each and every thought we have. Every thought expands, and so we've got to nip them in the bud and shift into a place of gratitude. This is how to become a magnet for money and wealth in general, which is a much broader definition. Awesome. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the beautiful, snowy, snuggly northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.